Humans are really similar to animals, despite the fact that we've invented clothes and we just wear clothes, and we have guns and we're just completely different in the physical aspect because we have technology. We're very similar in the way where we're slaves to the urges we get, and we're slaves to the emotions and what we feel. Similar to like how a dog will just fucking hump a random ass person in a party, right? They don't give a fuck. They just feel horny, so they fuck, right? Similar to how when humans come to push to shove, some of them will commit like cannibalism to survive, right? People will do extreme shit in the circumstances animals are in, or just put in circumstances in general. So you might be thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? And my point is that being aware of this will make you so much more productive if you use this right. Because the concept that we are like animals can make you extremely fucking productive. But it comes at a cost. It comes at a cost of your mental health. You know what? I read a book. I shouldn't do that with the hardcover. What's wrong? Nada, estoy. Oh my god, she came in so fast. Did I even record that? No, dude. Maybe I shouldn't be recording this video at 8 a.m. in my house. We're going to be talking about this one specific chapter in this book, and I swear it's going to change your fucking life. I swear it's going to change the way you see you can be productive. And it's not going to be the healthiest thing, but we're just going to talk about it so you know it's always an option and you understand this concept, because you might have been doing it without even realizing what it is, or without even realizing the effects of it. All right. Chapter 11, the mystery of sex transmutation. Why the fuck are you talking about sex, dude? It's literally YouTube. What is you doing? What are you doing, bro? Okay, let's think about it, right? Let's think about the shit people will do for the opposite gender, or for the gender they're attracted to, right? Let's think about how crazy people will go, the lengths people will go just to get someone's attention, or just to be with someone, or just to make someone happy, or just to fucking fulfill their desires, right? It's crazy. That's like where people will commit like murder or something, or commit like crazy ass acts of like heinous, and they will do it in the belief of, oh, I did it for someone else, so it's okay, right? Now, this is why I mentioned earlier that we are like animals, because animals will do the same shit, right? Have you seen fucking bears, dude? Have you fucking seen Joe Rogan? Have you seen the way that man talks about fucking brown bears protecting their fucking young? Dude, it's crazy. People would do the same. Like, I'm sure anyone, any mom would fucking kill a person, dude, if it were to defend their child, right? Completely. And it goes with the same concept with humans protecting like their wife or something, or someone they love, right? They will fucking kill somebody to do it, right? They will do it in the act of self-defense, but they're still like murdering somebody, right? It's that concept of doing something for someone else that you're just in love with, right? And this can be used in ways in self-improvement, actually. And it's very interesting because you've probably heard of this multiple times, where a guy will get super fucking jacked because they're like, I want to pull more girls, or I want to pull more people, or just people will do this in general. And it happens pretty often, actually. And they're doing it for themselves, but it's also like not for themselves. You see what I mean? It's more to get the attention of someone else, right? So it's almost like for themselves, but it's not really, because you're not getting jacked because I want to be jacked. No, you're getting jacked because I want to get jacked to pull more higher quality people. And I definitely said that. Yeah, believe me. Funnily enough, I'm also like a prime example of that. Although I wanted to, you know, I'm not jacked. I'm not like crazy big, or not even like remotely big. Now, if you've ever watched one of my older videos, which I'm assuming most of you guys haven't, I was really fucking skinny. I was about 12 pounds less heavier, and I was just really scrawny. Now, I didn't do this exact concept, but I used it in an alternative method. I used it in a way where it was similar enough to get me really productive, but it was also using the opposite gender as a way of motivation. So now we're gonna get into actually using this, right? How did I use this? How can you use this? How can you do it in a way where it doesn't affect you as unhealthy as it possibly can? Or honestly, if you just want to be a baller for a bit and want to go through it, how you can actually just do this in general, because that's what I honestly did. So it's convincing yourself that you will attain a certain goal at a certain level of achievement. Yeah. So the way I did it was, I wanted to talk to somebody, right? I wanted to talk to somebody who I really wanted to, but in my head I had convinced myself that, hey, why the fuck would they talk to me if I'm not fucking yoked? Sorry, I'm so scrawny still. Point is that that's what I would tell myself, and then it came to a point where I had been working out for a while now, and I'd finally reached like a pretty comfortable state of my body, and I realized that I didn't even want to talk to them anymore. Like, I genuinely didn't care about this person anymore. And it's more finding a way to convince yourself using what you're attracted to as a way to make yourself better. And you can pretty much just spam this over and over and over again. Like, if you're failing a class and there's a really pretty girl in the other classroom in front of you, you can pretty much say, okay, if I pass this final, or if I pass the class with the grade I want, I'm gonna go talk to that fucking girl. Now you have a motivation. Great. Now you have a way that you're motivated that people and animals have been doing for millennia now, right? Or I don't is that the right date? I would hope so. But this way of motivating yourself is just so connected to animals and your nature that you will not find yourself motivated this specific way any other way. You will act and be the best you have ever been to reach that goal, because that motivation source is just so ingrained in your genetics and the way you should be as an animal. That sounds amazing, Kevin. Oh my god. But why does the title say it's unhealthy? Enlighten me, please, right? That's obviously what you're saying, right? Because you're totally not watching this YouTube video at like 3 a.m. in the night when your parents can't hear you talking or you're gonna get yelled at. No, that's not true. That's not true. I've thought about this long and hard because it sounds really healthy when you look at it just from a normal perspective, but the more you think about it, I think the more I can realize why this is unhealthy, or why this can be a lot worse than it actually does good at times, right? I think that's because a couple of reasons, right? You're not doing this necessarily because of yourself, right? You're doing this for someone else, even though the word self-improvement has the word self, you know? At the end of the day, everything you do should be for yourself, or for your family, or for the people you care about who are closely related to you, not people you think will be closely related to you. No, for people who are currently like your friends or your best friends, or just people you care about, you know? Because what if you actually did it? What if you actually met your goal that you set yourself with, right? And then you're like, okay, now I can finally talk to that person, or now I can finally ask this person on a date, or now I can finally do what I wanted to and actually like act, right? But what if it goes wrong, right? What if your entire achievement just led to a result of just failure, right? With the thing that you were motivated with the entire time, right? I mean, it'd be kind of pathetic, but at the same time, you got your initial goal completed, so that's a W, but it's also an L. So I think it's also just like, the more you do this, the more you'll realize how stupid it is, right? So I think there's multiple, what the fuck? Okay, you know, fuck it, we're doing this. I'm hiding that acne. So I think there is multiple ways that this can be really unhealthy. And I think one of them is pretty much expecting something to go your way, right? What if you actually finish your goal, right? And then you actually go talk to the other person or do whatever you wanted to with that other person, you know, that you're attracted to. And then it goes south in that way, right? It just doesn't work out. And you finished your main goal, you're really happy about that. But now you're like, what the heck, dude? I deserve that because I did so well over here, right? But you don't deserve shit, right? We're not guaranteed anything, especially when it comes to other people. I think that is like really unhealthy, because you shouldn't expect someone to act a certain way, right? Because you were able to achieve something. Like, no. Just, I think that's like something that has to be very clear. I'm going back to my hoodies because I got self-conscious, you know, seeing the Technoblade hoodie. Actually, I was in class the other day in like a tutoring session, and this girl saw my emails, like of my personal email, and for some reason, like the Technoblade merch store will just like spam with a bunch of emojis, and she like read it out loud, like, oh, Technoblade merch. And I looked at her and I was like, bro, you really gonna just expose me like that? You really just gonna put me out there in front of everybody just that I'm a nerd? Like, For real. And then I got really embarrassed. It was pretty bad. Yeah. It was actually horribly embarrassing. I like turned it around and was like, can you not? I started laughing, but I haven't been that red since like middle school. Like it was bad. Enough of the story time though. I think it's also really unhealthy because you just aren't doing anything for yourself, right? I mean, I don't understand personally the concept of self-love. I haven't like gotten to that point in my life where I do understand it, but it makes sense that everything you should be doing should be to improve yourself because you want to, right? Not improve yourself because they want me to improve, or they want me to be at a certain level before I even like talk to them, or before I even like get to that point. I just think it's not like the healthiest way to motivate yourself, but it gets the job done well, very well. I read another book, and I would throw the book right now like I usually do if it wasn't an audiobook because I don't want to break my phone. But honestly, it was kind of dog shit. But what it did talk about, that's really bad, because in the book they were like, this is the only book you'll ever need, right? Like, this is the only book, this is the best book. And I'm gonna be honest, it was kind of mid. It was kind of mid, bro. But you're not here for a book review. In the book, they said one thing that really stuck with me, and it was pretty much the fact that you can't get like to the point that you want alone. And I thought about it and I was like, huh, interesting, right? And it pretty much talked about how people need other people, like in an intimate way, to actually get to that point in their life where they want to be. And I thought it was really interesting because in this way of like this concept, you are pretty much doing everything on your own, but using other people as motivation, but indirectly. And they aren't even aware of this, but you're still doing it, and it's like an almost there method. And I think the healthiest way of this method is actually finding someone who really wants you to reach your goals, but you're using them as motivation, but they're aware of it. And I think that's like probably the healthiest way to do it. Although in reality, you should be doing it for yourself. So that's like the most healthiest, unhealthy way of doing it, if that makes sense. Should I even be making a video on this, dude? It's like, the more I talk about it, the more I like bad it sounds, but I mean, it makes sense. It does, and people do this, and it's like a very interesting concept with not enough fucking people talk about. Yeah, honestly, the most healthiest way is probably just like actually doing it for yourself because you want yourself to be better, because you want to see yourself improve. That's probably the healthiest way of doing it. But I think that's the end of this video because I feel like that's all I have to say about this topic. I feel like I'll continue to like think about this topic and like research this topic from time to time, and I'll make another video if I ever feel like I've ever found something worth sharing. Hope you stick around for future videos. I know all my videos are pretty much just random things I want to talk about, but I feel like I make them pretty interesting for how like random the topics are. So I hope that you would also find them interesting despite the topic I'm talking about, and hopefully they help you learn something or you find dopamine in them. And subscribe. Yeah, goodbye. Funnily, how the fuck do you say that? Funnily enough,